I was checking YouTube and came across a video by Warren Huart, if I pronounced it correctly, in which he was checking out the new 557 Orbit by Rupert Neve. The 557 is a summing device which gives you the tone and the character of a console, like the big consoles in a small box. And for me as a mixing engineer, getting that sound, the console sound, the Rupert Neve sound even, in such a compact way without having to have the space or the money for a real big console is quite a big deal. However, the device is still 2,000 euros, so is it worth it? Warren Huart did a shout out or a shoot out, I'd rather say, with a mix he did, and he ran it through in the box, flat through the 5057, and then on the 50 and 100 settings for the silk and the red settings. To get started, let's listen to the in the box print of this song. To start off, this is a brilliant mixdown. I mean, the clarity is astounding.
Just off the coast, the waves are crashing. Sirens call us to the ground.
Incredible clarity, even with the in-the-box print. I believe he said that he didn't use any plugins on this mix, so everything we will hear is really the 5057 doing its magic. Right away in this version, this section, I feel that the vocal is being buried by the instrument. So I'm curious to know how the 5057 will clamp onto the vocals in comparison to the drums and the guitar. Okay, I think we've heard enough of the original. Before I go into the blue and red settings, I'd like to check the flat. You can see that the volume is being pushed a bit more and that the dynamic range has been reduced. You can compare these peaks and lowest values with these peaks. You can see the peaks are kind of clipped off, but not actually clipping. I'm curious to see how a flat setting on the 5057 Orbit will alter the sound. Obviously there is a lot more volume, so let me volume balance it. To my ears, the low end is being clamped down on already quite a lot for a flat setting, and it gives it more clarity and focus, especially in the low end. Although the other instruments around 300, 400, 500 Hz get boosted a bit more, so the kick drum loses a bit of clarity, but it gains depth. And I feel for a summing device, that is what you're looking for depth, for a bit of character and giving you that edge that plugins or anything else doesn't give you. Now let's compare it to the Silk Blue 50 version. First the in the box mix and I'll switch to the Silk Blue 50. And more volume. Try to focus on the transient of the guitar in the sides. It feels more spacious. The vocal has even more room to breathe in compared to the flat. And it feels more, the entire mix feels more pushed up front, so closer to your ear. To my ears, the Blue 50 setting is more pleasant to listen to because it's less squashed. It has more dynamic range, but I actually don't think there is, in fact, in the numbers more dynamic range, but it feels more spacious. Let's see how this compares to the Blue 100 setting, the maximum setting for the Blue version. So a bit too loud. You can really hear the Blue 100 accentuating and pushing the transient of the guitars in the sides. And I feel like the low end the mid-lows get pushed too much. So although I like the Blue setting, the Blue 50 setting, I think the Blue 100 setting is just too much. It's overdone. Let's continue on to the Silk 50 for the red version. Again, from the in-the-box print to the red 50. Again, a volume boost. The red clamps onto the sound in a more global way, where the 50 clamps down on the instruments and the drums more. So the red one is a bit more aggressive in tone on this specific song, I must add. It feels like the low end is disappearing is a big word, but getting reduced. It, however, does get more focused, so the kick is more centered and the bass is more centered, but everything is just being equally affected, because of which nothing gets affected in a particular way that's musical or adds musicality to the performance. Let's see how it compares to the 100. Let me reduce the volume in advance. I'm the least fan of the red version, and especially the 100 version. I'm the most fan of the Silk Blue 50 version on this track. Let's compare my least favorite, the 100 red, to my most favorite, the Blue 50. The red 100 pushes the track forward more, but it loses a bit of musicality. It's too aggressive in my opinion. For me, the clear winner in all of these versions is the 5057 Silk Blue with a 50 setting. But how does that compare? Does it add that one thing we are looking for that's worth 2,000 euros, if I didn't mention it already? In my opinion, this really does give it a character. The track does get a character with the 5057 on it. And the Silk Blue, the 5057 Orbit Rupert Neve, gives it the additional sound, the additional quality you're looking for to push the track even further and gain a bit more of headroom through your analog circuitry. And I think that this 5057 has already proven itself to be more than capable of doing just that. I hope you found this video interesting, my take as a mixing engineer on the different versions of one single track. Please let me know down in the comments, and I'd like to see you on my next videos.